Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford. Why Terence Crawford?
I don't think he's as good as people say he is. I mean, you could debate me on that. I think I'm a better fighter.
I'm a boxer. I don't give a fight him. I'll beat the shit out of him. I feel like in my heart, and that's it.
Terence Crawford fired back at Ryan Garcia furiously. That too for not thinking him as a worthy opponent to fight with.
Bud is listening. I would love to fight you. I feel like I would literally beat the shit out of you. You're a good fighter, but I don't think you've ever fought somebody with talent and explosiveness and power.
Bro, Terence Crawford is not he ain't like that, bro. Terence Crawford is an overhyped bum, bro. I'm sorry. Somebody gotta say it. You're an overhyped bum, bro. I'm looking at the camera right now. You suck, bro.
Ryan Garcia has been calling out Crawford long before his bout with Devin Haney, but so far there has been little to no response from Crawford. Frustrated by the lack of engagement, Garcia went on to label Crawford as overrated.
So stronger. I'm in my prime. He didn't look good his last fight. I can fight him at 154 if he wants it.
So you truly think that Terence Crawford's overrated?
I do.
Wow, he's never lost, but you think he doesn't have any quality wins?
I don't think he's ever fought a generational talent ever in his life.
Wow, and you're that guy.
Of course.
You think you're the first guy to give Terence Crawford his first loss?
Yes.
Now Garcia's hateful comments have been making rounds on the internet and have ignited a response from Terence Crawford too. According to Garcia, Crawford hasn't faced real power in the ring, which is why he believes the undefeated champion wouldn't know how to handle someone like him.
In my opinion, I mean, you beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter's a great fighter, but kind of basic. Errol Spence Jr. came off a crash. Don't think he's that good. Have you fought anybody with one-punch knockout power? No. So I feel like Bud Crawford is overrated.
Ryan Garcia called out Terence Crawford during a live session on X Spaces, where he confidently addressed his audience. Garcia, feeling in his prime, claimed that if Crawford accepted a fight with him, it would result in the biggest payday of Crawford's career. His call-out was a bold attempt to challenge the undefeated champion and called him boring and someone who have nothing to offer.
Point blank period. And I would actually fight him. There's a difference. I would actually fight him. Now, if he doesn't want it, that's not my fault. If he doesn't think it's a match, that ain't my fault. He's not a draw. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He's boring as but I would probably give him the biggest payday of his life if he takes the fight.
Remember that Ryan Garcia has been talking all about someone who holds an unbeaten record of 41-0 with 31 knockouts. He has been a world champion in 3 different weight divisions: lightweight, WBO title, light welterweight, where he became the undisputed champion, holding all 4 major belts: WBC, WBA, WBO, and IBF, and welterweight. As of 2023, he unified the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO titles in the welterweight division, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in boxing history. Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, who is Terence Crawford's longtime trainer and strategist, commented on the potential fight between Crawford and Ryan Garcia, dismissing the matchup by saying that Terence can handle Ryan Garcia even in his sleep, and that fight will not be for Garcia if happens. He said, "That's a one-way fight, man. You know all money ain't good money." Bomac was implying that despite the potential financial gain from such a fight, it wouldn't be worth it because it wouldn't be a competitive match. Despite all the hate from Ryan Garcia, Terence has never kept his persona of grace and power. In a recent tweet, Terence Crawford responded friendly to a statement made by Ryan Garcia about the state of the boxing industry. Crawford is agreeing with Garcia's view that the current system within boxing needs to change. He wrote, "I couldn't agree more, Ryan Garcia. The system we have isn't going to fix this. We gotta think different. Look at every other sport is building empires by doing it right. Us fighters need to come together. We can fight in the ring, but work together for our sport and our families." Ryan Garcia's fight with Devin Haney is still in the hot news because of the controversies that took place around it. Ryan Garcia has been seen drinking and smoking before the fight, and Terence Crawford responded with respect toward Garcia's openness. Crawford acknowledged that Garcia is living authentically and not hiding who he is. He commended Garcia for having the courage to be transparent, especially knowing that many people look up to him.
He's living in his own truth. You know, he's not hiding behind the doors or hiding in the closet about who he really is. So he's comfortable with who he is, and he accepted who he is. And for him to come out and say that, it takes a lot of guts, because he knows a lot of people is looking up to him. A lot of people want to be him and so forth. But
Currently suspended for testing positive for a banned substance after his fight with Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia continues to stir the boxing world with bold statements about his peers, often downplaying their achievements. His latest target is none other than Terence Crawford, who is seeking a fight with Canelo Alvarez in 2025, though the fight has yet to be confirmed. Garcia, in a message directed at Crawford, stated, "I already called him. I think he's just trying to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez, but I don't think that's going to happen." Garcia taunted Crawford, claiming he hasn't faced someone with knockout power like his and hinted at a potential fight. He emphasized that if Crawford accepted it would be his biggest payday, but questioned if the undefeated champ would take the challenge. He said, "I'd love to fight Bud. I don't think he's as good as people say. I'd give him a beating." Ryan Garcia recently called Terence Crawford overhyped and claimed that Garcia's frustration stems from his belief that Crawford, despite his undefeated record and multiple world titles, has not faced enough top-tier opponents.
Somebody got to say it. You're an overhyped bum, bro. I'm looking at the camera right now. You suck, bro. Just stop acting like you're like that. Stop stealing boxing money. You're wasting everybody's money. You're not entertaining, bro. You're boring as Come see me in the ring if you think I'm talking shit.
In another tweet from April 12, 2024, Garcia expresses a mix of respect for Terence Crawford's accomplishments, but still states his desire to fight and beat him. This kind of trash talk is not new, as Garcia has been calling out Crawford even before his fight with Devin Haney. The drama surrounding Garcia has included everything from his suspension due to a failed drug test to his heated exchanges with other fighters. His callouts to Crawford, which often come across as personal and aggressive, seem aimed at provoking a fight despite Crawford's focus on other competitors. He wrote, "I respect Crawford and what he has reached, but I want to kick his just cause. Let's f***ing go." Terence Crawford responded to Ryan Garcia in his recent tweet. Posted on September 20th, Crawford responded to accusations that he has only fought bums or lower-tier fighters. He highlighted the significant impact he has made on the sport and confidently asserts that despite the criticism, his name will forever be remembered in boxing history. He said, "Damn, I did a lot to be fighting all bums. Haters hate, but my name will forever be stamped in the history books forever." In another tweet, Crawford reflected on how people today often seek attention through social media, implying that some fighters or individuals might stir controversy simply for likes and online fame. He contrasted this with his own efforts to stay focused on his career and maintain a level of calmness. He wrote on his X handle, "I just be trying to just be cool, but nowadays people do stuff for attention and likes." Where Ryan Garcia's last fight went with such big controversy, Terence Crawford's last fight took place on August 3rd, 2024, against Israel Madrimov. Crawford won the bout by unanimous decision with scores of 116-112, 115-113, and 115-113. This victory earned him his fourth world title in a different weight division, making him a four-division world champion. Despite some challenges in the middle rounds, Crawford controlled the fight in the later stages. His experience and sharp technical skills helped him secure the win after going the distance for the first time since 2016. Even at 37 years old, Crawford proved he's still a top fighter in boxing, adding to speculation about future big fights. Terence Crawford vs. Madrimov fight struggled to generate substantial financial success through pay-per-view. The reported loss of over $10 million highlights the challenges that even well-backed international boxing promotions face, especially when key figures like Turki Al-Sheikh are involved. The event's difficulty in drawing a larger audience signals the inherent risks in promoting major boxing matches across global markets. Jeff Mayweather also touched on how fans reacted to Crawford's fight against Madrimov, noting that many felt Crawford's punches weren't as powerful as they were in lower weight classes. Mayweather acknowledged that Crawford could still perform well against Canelo Alvarez if he prepared properly, but also pointed out that doubts arose after the fight. Despite these concerns, Mayweather stressed that taking risks is a crucial part of achieving greatness in boxing. He said, "I think that if he prepares right for Canelo, he's going to do well. But the one thing is this, right now, after seeing this fight, a lot of people are going to think that he's not going to be able to beat Canelo. And he might not, but the thing is, that's part of being great. You take risks." Showbiz the Adult gave his critical take on Terence Crawford's past performances and the opponents he faced. According to Showbiz, Crawford wasn't just skilled and talented, but was physically bigger than most of the fighters in those divisions, giving him an edge. He continued by saying that when Crawford moved up to welterweight, his opposition wasn't as strong. Showbiz mentioned that fighters like Kell Brook were past their prime, and Sean Porter had 1 foot out of boxing.
Terence Crawford, when he fought at the lower weight classes, he was definitely weight bullying. He was huge. He's not just talented, skillful, he was bigger than everybody, so pause. So you know that he was going to dominate everybody there. All right, everybody up to 140. Now 147 wasn't fighting much. Kell Brook, over the hill. Sean Porter, 1 foot out. And if you think that Errol Spence fight was the best Errol Spence you ever seen, you're fooling yourself. Just to give love for that fight. A lot of people aren't saying what we all really know. Errol Spence washed, bruh. That Errol Spence that showed up against Crawford was washed. If you want to keep it real, it is what it is.
Showbiz the Adult, while praising Terence Crawford as one of the greatest fighters of all time, acknowledged that Ryan Garcia had a point in some of his criticisms. He explained that this reflects the current culture of boxing, where fighters often don't build a consistent record of high-quality wins. Showbiz highlighted that even Ryan Garcia's best win against Devin Haney had some controversy around it due to the circumstances of the fight.
But at the same time, Terence Bud Crawford is one of the greatest fighters of all time. But Ryan's right. Now, let me tell you why he's right. Because that's what fighters do today. That's the culture today. You want to know how I know? Ryan Garcia, what's your best win? Devin Haney, you pop fostering. You get what I'm saying? The one, you got an asterisk by your one great win. And that's Devin Haney, you pop fostering. You get what I'm coming from?
Showbiz the Adult continued by explaining how the perception Ryan Garcia has of Terence Crawford's career reflects a broader issue within boxing today. He acknowledged that Crawford's career can be logically criticized due to the level of opposition he's faced, which gives room for people like Garcia to make arguments against his greatness. Showbiz mentioned that in the current boxing climate, it's more common for fighters to have question marks around their best wins. He added, "That's what we're trying to change in this war room. Ryan Garcia has the type of way you can look at Terence Crawford's career and come up with that logical argument. We don't want to give people that." Showbiz then contrasted Crawford's career with those of legendary fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and Floyd Mayweather. He emphasized that you can't make the same criticisms against those fighters because they consistently fought the best in their eras, leaving no doubt about their greatness. He noted that even Floyd Mayweather, who is often scrutinized for his later career choices, fought almost everyone during his prime and didn't leave much room for doubt. He continued, "You can't do that with Sugar Ray Robinson, Leonard, Hagler, Ali. You can't even do that with Floyd Mayweather. At the end of the day, he fought them all, bro." Despite his 1-year suspension due to a failed drug test, Garcia remains a central figure in boxing and is already planning his 2025 return. He ruled out a rematch with Haney due to a legal dispute and instead set his sights on Crawford, describing him as boring and overrated and claiming he would beat the stuffing out of him. However, Garcia's suspension prevents him from fighting until April 2025, leaving fans to speculate if a showdown with Crawford is truly on the horizon. Terence Crawford recently discussed Ryan Garcia's opinions and the current state of boxing, hinting that there are numerous things he could say about Ryan but chose not to. Crawford acknowledged that changes need to be made within the sport, suggesting that a shift in how boxing operates is on the horizon.
It's a lot of things that I could say right now that I'm not gonna say, but there's a change that needs to be made in the sport of boxing, and I think that change is coming soon.
Terence Crawford has been actively seeking a high-profile fight with Canelo Alvarez to secure a legacy-defining bout and a substantial payday. Crawford, coming off a dominant win against Errol Spence Jr. and Israel Madrimov, expressed his desire to fight Canelo, believing that such a fight would not only enhance his legacy but also significantly boost his earnings. However, negotiations have hit a stumbling block due to financial disagreements. Canelo's team has set a high price for the fight, and the financial terms have reportedly been a key factor preventing the fight from moving forward. Canelo Alvarez expressed his dissatisfaction with how Turki Alalshik approached him about a potential fight. He made it clear that his career success was earned through his own efforts, not because of anyone else's influence. Canelo emphasized that he now has the independence to make his own decisions, and if Alalshik wanted to collaborate, it would have to be on Canelo's terms, not the other way around.
My response to Turkey is this. Yesterday, they text me. They text me and say, we can talk about the fight in February with Crawford. Yeah. They text me yesterday, and I say, look, I'm not gonna talk about any other fight. I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talked, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like, what was
It's not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants to work with me, it need to be in my way.
Despite Crawford's interest in pursuing this mega fight, Canelo's financial demands may be too high to make the bout feasible at this time. Eric Roman highlighted that while Israil Madrimov's unconventional style created significant challenges for Crawford, where he might find more opportunities in a fight against Canelo Alvarez due to Canelo's more traditional approach. However, Roman was quick to clarify that this doesn't imply that Crawford would dominate Canelo, but rather that the fight would be competitive. He emphasized that while an easy victory for Crawford is unlikely, a matchup between the two would certainly be highly entertaining and closely contested.
It's a tough call because Madrimov is so awkward, right? His herky-jerky, like bobblehead style, you know, feinting and all that, like, that's a tough match for anybody. I mean, even I think Boots will have a hard time with Madrimov. I mean, he'll beat him, but, you know, I think a lot of these guys, you know, Virgil Ortiz, I think they'll all have a hard time with Madrimov, and people are not, like, you know, giving that guy enough credit. Canelo's more of a stand in front of you. Yeah, he has good head movement, but he's not like herky-jerky. He's gonna be there for you. And so, what did it show me? What did it prove to me? I mean, it proved to me that Bud will be competitive with him. Absolutely. You know what I mean? It didn't prove to me that Bud will, you know, go in and annihilate Canelo. Nah, but I think it'll be a great fight. You know what I mean? I think it'll be a great fight, and I think that you know, I would love to see it.
Crawford's urgency to secure a fight with Canelo Alvarez has led him to take risks that may seem reckless. After retiring and spending a year out of the ring, Crawford doesn't have the time to gradually work his way into the 154-pound division. With his sights set on a potential Canelo fight in 2025, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh pushed for a fight with Israil Madrimov, and Crawford had little choice but to agree. At this stage of his career, with age and inactivity working against him, Crawford is taking on challenges that a fighter his age and with his recent inactivity would normally avoid. Battling Madrimov is a step he must take to get closer to the financial reward of fighting Canelo. Joey Diaz added his perspective on Madrimov and said, "When he's in the ring, he's very complicated. You can watch a video of Israil and give yourself an opinion, but it's totally different when you're in the ring with him. When you're in the ring with him, it's very complicated." Madrimov's unpredictable style and power make him a formidable opponent, unlike anyone Crawford has faced, even among other Eastern European fighters. Diaz further highlighted Madrimov's impressive sparring with Dimitri Bivol, saying, "I've seen him in the ring spar against Dimitri Bivol when he was getting ready for Canelo. I was amazed. This kid is 154 pounds, and he's sparring a 175-pounder, and he's doing great." Dan Rafael offered his take on the fight between Terence and Madrimov that ended well in Crawford's favor. He expressed the excitement and significance of past historical fights that set a higher bar. Rafael shifted focus to Crawford's move into the 154-pound division, emphasizing his dominance and the reputation he carries into this weight class. He stated that Crawford would likely be favored over anyone in the division, naming standout fighters like Fondura, Tim Tszyu, Israil Madrimov, and Jermell Charlo. Rafael said, "I think at 154, Crawford would probably be the favorite against anybody in that weight class right now, whether it's Fondura, Tim Tszyu, Madrimov, Charlo, you name it. Pick any fighter in that division and Crawford would likely be the favorite." He also touched on the excitement surrounding the fight due to the title at stake, adding to the anticipation. Rafael expressed his enthusiasm, stating, "It's an intriguing fight with an available title, and they're going to make a big show out of it. I'm excited for it." When discussing Madrimov, Rafael recalled how impressed professionals were with him during his debut, recognizing his potential for future dominance in the sport.
It's a good fight. I mean, Madrimov, he may not have a huge glossy record. He's only got 10 wins, no losses, and a draw. So he's very green in terms of his professional career, but he was a top-notch amateur. You know, I remember being at I can't remember if it was his professional debut or his second fight. They were already matching him with legitimate guys. They knew that this kid could move fairly quickly, you know, like we've seen some of the other top amateurs that have come into boxing. They don't have to screw around with a whole bunch of 4-rounders and 6-rounders and that sort of thing. Fighters all develop at their own pace. They were okay to match him more aggressively at the beginning of his career, and he's shown that he can handle it because...
Rafael also noted that in their face-off, there appeared to be no major size difference between Crawford and Madrimov, which might surprise some given the weight class transition.
When I saw them face off with each other, they're about the same size. There didn't look to be any kind of massive size difference.
Finally, Rafael praised Crawford as an exceptional talent in boxing, suggesting that his skills put him in the conversation for the Hall of Fame. Describing him as a generational kind of talent, Rafael remarked, "But Crawford's, you know, at least going into the fight, You gotta look at him. He's like a Hall of Fame, you know, as they say, generational kind of talent. Dave Coldwell, a respected boxing trainer and analyst, shared his thoughts on Israel Madrimov's performance, highlighting the significant challenge ahead for Terence Crawford. Coldwell, who witnessed Madrimov's title-winning fight from ringside, underscored the level of competition Crawford will face as he moves up in weight.
Brilliant fight. Brilliant fight. I was ringside when Madrimov won title from his last fight. That was for the title, wasn't it? That was his shot at the title. It was very good. I mean, I've seen him on TV, but you know, when you see him up close, I always soak up a little bit more when you see fighters up close. He's very, very good. Powerhouse, yes. Clever, yes. Boxing ability, yes. Crawford's going in right at the top level at 154. It's not like he's gone up another weight division and thought, you know what, I'll dab my toes at it. I've been out for a while. I'll just see how it is in these cool waters. He's gone straight in at the deep end.
Coldwell discussed Crawford's move to a higher weight class, stressing that while Crawford possesses undeniable skill, he is still susceptible to getting hit, a factor that could become even more critical at a heavier weight. Coldwell noted, "Let's not forget, Crawford does get hit. He does get hit. It's not like he's super elusive. He does get hit. And sooner or later, you always think in the back of your mind, started off at lightweight, gone up, sooner or later you're gonna go up a division that's just that little bit too much. You know? Is it this Saturday? I don't know." Coldwell's observations emphasize that while Crawford is skilled, the additional challenges of fighting at a higher weight class could be a key factor in this matchup. Joe Rogan and Bernard Hopkins discussed Terence Crawford, praising him as one of the most exciting fighters to watch in the sport. They agreed that Crawford is a phenomenal switch hitter, with Hopkins even comparing him to Marvin Hagler in terms of his ability to switch stances effectively. They acknowledged that Crawford made the right choices to promote and execute his fight successfully, demonstrating both technical brilliance and mental toughness.
Yes.
One of my favorite guys to watch. Phenomenal. Best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler.
Yes.
You
We
know.
tried to promote that fight, and he had a choice like we all do, and he chose to do what he needed to do, and he was successful with it. Absolutely a technical, serious, mentally strong, and definitely can be around as long as he wants to.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah, he's a bad man. And there's a good crop of people like that today.
Bernard Hopkins discussed Ryan Garcia's approach in the ring and shared how he envisioned Ryan would utilize his strengths during a fight. Hopkins compared it to being a squirrel, reminding Ryan to keep his head down and remain vigilant rather than looking for something else after making a move. Hopkins said, "I anticipated the fight playing out where Ryan would use all the attributes that he have to his best ability. Stay out, length, stay outside, speed, don't admire your work. Don't be the squirrel with your head looking for something, keep it down." Hopkins continued to highlight Ryan Garcia's strengths, and he advised him to be in his senses and his confidence when in the ring. According to him, when he tried to shooty out the other boxer out of for confidence, he gets the damage then. Hopkins noted how fighters can think they're in control, only for Ryan to capitalize on their overconfidence.
I wanted, and I believe Ryan when he said he's going to box him. He's not going to get into his emotions and try to show bravo like he's getting to a shootout. You get in a shootout, he's done.
Both fighters have their strengths, but questions remain about whether Ryan's speed and explosiveness can overcome Crawford's technical brilliance and experience. What's your take? Can Ryan's power and youth match up against Crawford's skill and adaptability? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and be sure to like this video and subscribe to stay updated on all things boxing.